Welcome to my English podcast.
Learn, practice, and speak with confidence. Hi everyone, welcome back to my English podcast. I'm Mia, and today we're going to talk about something that not only helps you improve your English, but also makes you feel more confident, more aware, and more connected to the world.
Hey there. I'm Max, and I'll just say it. If there's one habit that can quietly boost your vocabulary, listening skills, thinking, and speaking, it's reading or listening to world news in English. But don't worry, we're not talking about boring or difficult news. We're going to show you how to understand it, enjoy it, and actually grow from it.
And you won't need to use a dictionary every 30 seconds. We're going to make it simple, natural, and very real. We'll also show you how to use the news to learn useful words and phrases, and how to talk about it with friends or in class.
Of course, we have our amazing expert with us, Mrs. Tina. She'll help explain how to use English news as a daily learning tool, no matter what your level is.
Hi everyone. I'm so happy to be here again. Today's topic is one of my favorites, because news connects your English learning to the real world. It's not just vocabulary, it's life, it's conversation, and it's awareness. And yes, it's totally possible to understand news stories in simple English, even if you're a beginner.
Let's start with the big question. Why is reading or listening to the news in English so helpful for learners?
I mean, news is hard sometimes, right? New topics, fast speech, big words. So why do it?
Great question. Let's make it simple. News teaches you three powerful things. Current vocabulary, words people are using right now, real-world sentence patterns, not textbook English, but natural English confidence to talk about important topics, because you've heard them before.
And also, you get to hear how people express opinions, how they ask questions, and how they explain facts, just like in real life.
I remember the first time I listened to a short news podcast in English. I didn't understand every word, but I got the idea. And that gave me such a boost of confidence.
Yes, that's how it starts. You don't need to understand every word, just the main idea, the key words, the feeling. That's how children learn too, by catching patterns.
So what kind of news should learners start with? Not all news is easy.
Good point. Start with simple global news. Look for news websites or YouTube channels that say Easy English News or News in Levels. You can also use the English version of apps you already use for news in your language. Just switch the language to English.
Oh, I like that. Use the same app, but just flip the language setting.
Yeah, that way it feels familiar but still helps you grow.
And choose topics you enjoy. If you like science, read news about discoveries. If you like sports, follow the sports section. Don't force yourself to read hard political news right away. Enjoy the process.
Let's try a small example together. Here's a short news-style sentence. Scientists have discovered a new planet outside our solar system. Now, that may sound big, but it's actually very learnable.
Yes. Let's break it down. Scientists, people who study science, have discovered, present perfect, means it happened recently, a new planet. Simple noun phrase, outside our solar system, describes where. Now let's say it together. Scientists have discovered a new planet outside our solar system. And then, let's shorten it for beginners. They found a new planet.
See? Even that small sentence gives you grammar, vocabulary, and information.
Let's give listeners a few phrases that are often used in news stories, but are also great for conversation.
Of course. Here are a few. According to the report, experts say, the number has increased. There is growing concern about. A new study shows. Let me use them in easy sentences. According to the report, air pollution is rising. Experts say we should sleep more. The number of cases has increased. There is growing concern about mental health. A new study shows that walking helps the brain.
These are great. And once you've seen them a few times, you start to recognize them automatically.
Let's say a learner reads one news article a day. Just a short one. What should they do next?
Very simple. Do these three things. Read it once for understanding. Don't stop for every word. Just understand the big idea. Pick 3 new words or phrases, write them down. Say them out loud. Say 1 sentence about it in your own words. That's the most powerful part.
Okay, let's say I read a short article about a city banning plastic bags. I could say, in one city, plastic bags are not allowed anymore to help the environment. Even if that's not exactly how the article said it, I'm still using real English.
Exactly. That's how fluency grows, by turning ideas into your own words, even if it's not perfect.
And over time, you start recognizing patterns. Like, oh, this story is in past tense. Or, this story uses according to again.
And you start to think in English more often, not just translate.
And you also learn how to talk about the world. That's important. Because when you speak to people in English, they don't just want to hear your name or job. They want to talk about what's happening. And now you'll be ready.
Let's give listeners a fun little challenge. Are you ready?
Yes. Challenge time.
Okay, here it is. Find 1 short news story in English today. Read or listen to it once. Pick 3 new words. Then speak 1 sentence out loud to explain what the story is about.
It can be simple like, there was a big storm in Japan, flights were delayed. Or, doctors found a new medicine to help people sleep better.
And if you do this every day, even just 5 minutes, your English will grow so fast, and you'll be more connected to what's going on in the world.
You'll sound smarter, feel more confident, and have something interesting to say.
In the next part, we'll talk about how to use news stories in conversations, how to ask questions, agree, disagree, and express opinions in English using news as your topic.
So stay with us, it's going to be super practical, and we'll give you lots of real conversation examples too.
Welcome back, friends. So, now you've read or listened to a news story. Maybe you've picked your 3 new words. Maybe you even said a sentence out loud. That's great. But what do you do next? That's what we're going to talk about now. How to use news stories in real conversations.
Yeah, because learning a news story is one thing, but talking about it is where real growth happens. And trust me, this doesn't have to be serious or formal. You can use news to chat with friends, co-workers, classmates, even with yourself.
Absolutely. It's just like talking about a movie or a TV show. If something interesting happened in the world, you can bring it into conversation, even with simple English.
Exactly. And the best way to begin is with one of these little phrases. Did you hear about? I saw a news story about, apparently. They say that, it looks like, these phrases help you start the conversation without sounding too formal or too direct.
Let's try a few examples. Did you hear about the new robot that can cook? That sounds like something I'd really say.
Or, I saw a story about a town using solar power for everything. It's amazing. That feels friendly and natural.
Yes. And the great thing is, these short phrases give you time to think. While you're saying them, your brain prepares the next sentence. That's a little fluency trick. Use soft openers.
Okay, so now I've opened the conversation. What do I say next?
Say what you think about it. It can be something very small. Just add a short opinion or reaction. That's really smart. I think it's a good idea. It sounds a bit scary. I don't really agree. These are short and honest, and they help you practice expressing yourself.
Let's put this together. Did you hear about the new bus that drives itself? That sounds kind of scary to me.
Or, I saw a story about a 12-year-old who started his own business. That's really inspiring.
Beautiful. You're learning how to react in English, and that's a big skill. Because English is not just about giving long answers. It's about reacting, asking, and sharing.
So what if someone disagrees with us? What are some polite ways to say, I don't think so, or I'm not sure?
Great question. Here are a few polite disagreement phrases. I see your point, but that's interesting, but I think I'm not so sure about that. Maybe, but I feel differently. Let's do a sample. A. I think robots will take over most jobs. B. I see your point, but I think people will always be needed too.
That sounds respectful. You're not fighting. You're just sharing.
Exactly. These are useful even in daily life, not just news talk.
And let's not forget, asking questions is a wonderful way to grow your vocabulary too. If someone says, "There was a big protest," you can ask, "What was it about? Where did it happen? Was it peaceful?" You learn and you keep the conversation going.
Let's give our listeners a simple role play they can practice with a friend. You want to try, Mia?
Sure, I'll be person A, you be person B. Did you hear about the new electric cars that charge in 5 minutes?
No, I didn't. That sounds cool. Where did you see that?
I read it on the BBC app. They're testing it in Germany.
That's amazing. I hope they bring that to our country soon.
Me too. It would make life so much easier.
That's fantastic. You used real conversation flow, news, question, opinion, agreement. This is what natural English sounds like.
Let's also help people who want to practice alone. Because not everyone has someone to talk to.
Good point. If you're alone, try this. Read or listen to a short news story. Say the summary out loud in your own words. Add your reaction. "I think it's good. It surprised me. It's a big change." Ask yourself a question and try answering it. For example, what would I do if I lived there? Or do I agree with this rule?
It's like you're creating your own mini conversation, even if you're just walking or cooking.
And it helps you think in English, which is the real goal here.
Exactly. You don't need a classroom. You just need curiosity. And the news gives you something new to explore every day.
So far we've looked at how to understand the news, how to find stories you enjoy, and how to use them in real-life talk. In the next part, we'll go deeper into building listening skills with audio news, especially how to train your ears and brain to follow fast, real English without getting overwhelmed.
Yes, because listening to the news can feel fast at first. But we're going to slow it down, show you how to catch the key words, and even teach you how to build rhythm by shadowing real voices.
Don't worry, we'll guide you step by step. And by the end of this episode, you'll feel ready to make news a natural part of your English life.
Welcome back, everyone. So far, we've talked about how to read or talk about the news in English. But there's another powerful skill you can build from news listening. And we know for many learners, listening feels like the hardest part.
Yep. Especially when the news moves fast, has new names, and uses serious topics. But today, we'll show you how to train your ears to understand more, step by step.
And the best part? You don't have to understand everything. You just need to catch the main points. Listening to the news in English is not about hearing every word, it's about getting the idea.
Let's start with this. What's a good way to choose audio news content for English learners?
Start small. Look for English news for learners. Many channels or podcasts say slow news or easy English short clips. Even 1 or 2 minutes is great for practice topics you care about. You'll listen more if you're interested. YouTube, Spotify, and news websites often have learner-friendly versions.
There's one I love, the English News Podcast. They use slower, clear English. And they explain big words right after using them.
I also like News in Levels. It tells the same story in different versions, level 1, 2, and 3. So you can start easy and then move up.
Exactly. And once you pick a short clip, here's what to do with it. Listen once without stopping, just try to get the main idea. Don't worry if you miss words. Listen again with subtitles if possible. Now your brain connects the sounds and the text. Repeat key phrases out loud, that's called shadowing. You copy what the speaker says like an echo.
Let's show what shadowing sounds like. I'll say a sentence like it's from the news. Mia, you repeat it like a learner practicing. The government has announced a new plan to improve public transport.
The government has announced a new plan to improve public transport. That's it, you just copy the rhythm and the words. Even if you're a little slow at first, it's okay.
Yes. Shadowing helps your brain and mouth work together. It trains your pronunciation, your memory, and your confidence, all at the same time.
You don't have to do this for 30 minutes. Even 3 minutes a day is powerful.
So let's make a plan. If someone wants to practice listening using news audio, What should they do each day?
Here's a 5-day routine. Monday, pick a 1 to 2 minute news audio clip. Tuesday, listen once for the main idea. Wednesday, listen again with subtitles and write down new phrases. Thursday, shadow one sentence at a time. Friday, speak a short summary in your own words.
And that Friday step, that's magic. When you say it in your own words, you know you're growing.
Let's try a full example for our listeners. Imagine this short news clip. Scientists in Japan have created a robot that can cook simple meals. They say it may help elderly people live more independently. Now let's go step by step.
Step 1. Listen and understand. This is about a cooking robot helping older people.
Step 2. Pick 3 new words or phrases. Created independently, scientists in Japan.
Step 3. Shadowing practice. Scientists in Japan have created a robot. Repeat out loud. That can cook simple meals. Say it again. They say it may help elderly people. Keep going. Live more independently.
And finally, step 4. Say it in your own way. A robot in Japan can cook. It may help old people live alone.
Beautiful. You used your own words. That's not just language learning, it's language use.
And here's something interesting. When you do this kind of listening practice every week, your brain starts to notice patterns. You start to hear how people use the same phrases again and again in different stories.
Like scientists have found, or a new study shows, or the number has increased. These phrases appear everywhere.
Yes. And once they become familiar, you can use them too, in your writing, in class, or even at work.
So if a learner feels like, I can't follow fast English, what should they remember?
Remember this. It's okay to miss words, focus on the key idea, practice in small steps, use your voice to repeat, don't aim for perfection, aim for progress.
That's so encouraging. Because honestly, even native speakers miss parts of the news sometimes. We all get distracted or confused.
The important thing is you keep showing up. 5 minutes a day with the news builds your language like nothing else.
And it gives you something to talk about. Something real. That's the difference between just knowing English and living in English.
In the final part of our episode, we'll show you how to turn this habit into a long-term routine, so it doesn't feel like a chore, but like a daily part of your life. We'll also share tips on combining news with writing, speaking, and even thinking in English.
It's all about building a life where English feels natural, just like checking the news in the morning. Stick around for the final part. You're doing great! Welcome back, everyone. You've made it to the final part of today's episode. And that means you're serious about building a habit, one that not only improves your English, but helps you stay aware of the world. That's a powerful combination.
Yeah, and I think it's important to say this clearly. Reading or listening to the news in English doesn't have to be hard. You don't need to make it complicated. You just need to make it a habit. A small daily routine. That's what really makes the difference over time.
That's right. And in this final part, we want to help you build your own routine. A simple way to make news a part of your life. Something that works with your schedule, your interests, and your English goals.
Let's start with this. What does a realistic daily routine look like for someone who wants to use news to improve their English?
Great question. Let's keep it super practical. Here's a very doable routine, only 10 to 15 minutes a day. Step 1. Check a short news story, 2 to 3 minutes of reading or listening. Step 2. Write down 2 or 3 useful words or phrases. Step 3. Say one sentence out loud in your own words. Step 4. Optional, ask yourself one question about the story and answer it in English. That's it. No long study time. No pressure. Just one moment of connection between your English and the world around you.
I love that. And it works for any level. Even if you're a beginner, you can do it. And if you're more advanced, you can go deeper, summarize more, write a short opinion, or even try talking about the news with a friend.
And let's not forget, asking questions is a wonderful way to grow your vocabulary too. If someone says, there was a big protest, you can ask, what was it about? Where did it happen? Was it peaceful? You learn and you keep the conversation going.
And here's something that's really helped me set a fixed time each day. Like, every morning I'll listen to one short news story, or Every evening, I'll read one article before bed. That makes it a habit.
Yes, time matters. But the key is consistency, not perfection. If you miss a day, that's okay. Just come back to it the next day. Habits are built by returning, not by being perfect.
Let's help listeners create their personal routine right now. So if you're listening, think about these 3 questions. What time of day works best for me? Do I prefer reading or listening? What kind of news do I enjoy most?
You might realize you enjoy listening to news podcasts while walking, or maybe you like reading tech stories during your lunch break. That's perfect. Start where you are.
And if you ever feel bored or stuck, change your topic. Try a new category. Global news, health, science, culture, sports, even entertainment. All of it helps you grow.
You know, sometimes people ask, how long before I see improvement? And I always say, you'll notice it when you least expect it. Maybe you understand a word you heard last week. Or maybe you explain something more clearly without thinking.
It's those little surprises. One day, someone says something, and you realized you understand. You don't freeze. You have something to say back. That's progress.
And remember, your brain connects better when it feels something. If the news makes you curious, surprised, happy, or even confused, good. That emotion helps the language stick.
Okay, let's add another layer. We've talked about reading, listening, speaking. What about writing?
Yes. Can we use the news to practice writing too?
Absolutely. And again, you don't need to write a full article. Try one of these. Write a 1-sentence summary of the news, write a short personal opinion, write a question you'd like to ask about the topic, or write a comment as if you were posting online, for example. News: scientists discovered water on Mars. Summary: water was found on Mars. Opinion: I think this is exciting for the future. Question: does this mean people could live there one day? Comment: wow, this is amazing news. I want to learn more.
That's so easy to try, and you can do it in your notebook or on your phone or even just in your head.
I sometimes leave a voice message for myself. I say the news summary and I listen to it later. It feels like I'm talking to the future version of me.
That's a great technique. You're not just learning, you're living in English. And that's what makes language stick. When it's part of your life, not just something you study.
And if you keep going, something amazing happens. You stop translating. You start thinking in English, especially about topics that matter to you.
Let's imagine someone sticks to this habit for 1 month, just one short news story a day. What changes?
So much changes. Here's what I see in my students. Their vocabulary grows faster than with textbooks. They feel more confident speaking, they understand conversations better, they express opinions more easily, and most of all, they feel proud. Because they're not just learning English. They're learning in English.
That's a beautiful difference. You're not just a learner, you become a user.
Let's end this episode with a powerful weekly plan. Something simple that anyone can follow.
Here's a weekly plan to start with. Monday, read or listen to one short news story. Tuesday, pick 3 new words and practice saying them. Wednesday, speak 1 sentence about the news. Thursday, write a short summary or opinion. Friday, try shadowing 2 to 3 sentences from an audio news clip. Saturday, talk or think about the story again in your own words. Sunday, rest, review, or pick a fun topic like sports or entertainment.
So simple and so powerful.
If you follow this even for 1 month, you'll be amazed by how much your English improves and how much more connected you feel to the world.
And remember, English isn't just a subject. It's a key to understand, to connect, to grow. So use it daily, naturally, one story at a time.
We hope this episode helped you see the news in a new way. Not something to be afraid of, but something to enjoy, use, and grow with.
And if you liked this episode, try your own routine. Share 1 sentence about today's news in English. Just 1. That's your challenge.
You're doing more than learning. You're building a future where English is not a wall, but a window.
Thanks for listening to my English podcast. Don't forget to practice with us again next time.